Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today's story is one of profound despair and terrifying realization. It comes from a woman we will call Nia, and it is a stark warning about what happens when we are at our most vulnerable. Nia's world had completely imploded. Life had been stable and loving. She had been raised by a single father whom she adored. He was her rock. But in a horrifyingly short span of time, she lost everything. Her father died suddenly in a work accident. She was laid off from her job. A debilitating accident left her with a broken leg, and the man she thought she would marry left her for someone else. She was adrift, shattered, and utterly hopeless. Seeking a drastic change, Nia took her remaining savings and fled the city, settling in a remote, quiet village. Far from everything she knew, she rented a small house and managed to secure a job at a local grocery store. For the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of warmth. Her neighbors were welcoming, especially an older woman named Ibu Ratna. Ibu Ratna quickly became a maternal figure, and soon after, she invited Nia to join her at the local church. Nia was hesitant. She was unparticularly religious, but she was deeply grateful for Ibu Ratna's kindness and didn't want to offend her. She agreed to go. The church building itself was immediately odd. It was ancient and dimly lit, decorated not with typical religious iconography, but with numerous flickering candles and several tightly folded flags hanging from the ceiling. When the service began, the strangeness escalated. The leader, Pastor Rudy, didn't preach from any recognizable holy book. Instead, his sermons focused on secular philosophy, talking about balancing black and white and, chillingly, defining revenge as a heroic act. But Nia didn't run. She felt accepted. She felt a connection, a familial bond she had desperately missed since losing her father. The message, which sounded more like intense self-help motivation than religion, was comforting to her broken heart. Yet, the universe was trying to send her urgent warnings. Strange things began happening at her house. Birds repeatedly crashed into her windows and died. Her beloved orchid, a gift from her father, suddenly withered and dried up. Most disturbing of all, the framed photos of her late father, which she kept meticulously straight, would somehow always rotate themselves, ending up completely upside down. She also noticed unsettling details at the church. During one of the regular services, the closing prayer wasn't addressed solely to the Creator or to nature, but ended with a specific, articulated thank you to the devil and demons, credited for providing tests and temptations. It was a bizarre acknowledgement of darkness, but the community's warmth made her rationalize it away. Then came the special quarterly ritual, held at 3 in the morning. The entire church was pitch black, filled only by candlelight, and everyone wore black robes. The flags on the ceiling were finally unfurled, revealing a prominent, unsettling star symbol inside a circle. Pastor Rudy, taking a ceremonial sword, lightly struck the head of each parishioner, symbolizing the receiving of suffering. But the peak of horror was the communion. Nia and the rest of the congregation were required to consume a small, glistening gumpalan mera, a lump of raw, red meat or flesh, followed by drinking a crimson liquid that tasted metallic, salty, and distinctly fishy. Later, she would hear whispers that the ingredients were something unspeakable, perhaps fetal material or animal blood. The doctrine they were spoon-fed explained that this was necessary to absorb the full spectrum of the world's pain. The ultimate moment of terror arrived during the next ritual, the one Pastor Rudy called atonement. A man, reportedly a known murderer named Rayon, was brought in, bound inside a heavy sack, in the name of purging the village's collective sin. The man was brutally tortured and attacked by the congregation. Pastor Rudy personally inflicted wounds with a knife. What was truly terrifying was that Nia, deeply indoctrinated by the cult's skewed morality, watched the entire ordeal and felt a horrific sense of justification, believing Rayon deserved the suffering and that this act was somehow righteous. But her indoctrination was about to break. One night, Nia had a vivid dream. She saw her father standing mournfully outside the Yuri church. His face was etched with sorrow. He didn't speak long, but his words were crystal clear. He looked at her and said, "You know, it's not the frame that is upside down, Nia. It is you who is in a twisted world." She woke up instantly, cold dread gripping her heart. The upside-down photos. They weren't a sign of misfortune. They were her father's desperate attempt to show her the truth. That asterisk, her asterisk perspective. An asterisk, her asterisk world, had been inverted by the cult. In that moment, the terrifying reality of the human sacrifice, the raw meat, and the satanic prayers flooded her consciousness. She wasn't seeking comfort, she was participating in genuine evil. Knowing she was in mortal danger, Nia acted immediately. She quietly packed the bare minimum, and without saying goodbye to anyone, fled the village under the cover of darkness. The escape was just the beginning of her ordeal. The cult members searched for her relentlessly, forcing her to spend several years hiding and moving constantly from city to city, always looking over her shoulder. Nia shared her story today, hoping that it serves as a crucial reminder. When life strips you bare, when you lose your faith or your footing, that immense emptiness becomes fertile ground for dark influences. Things that offer false comfort and twisted community can quickly become deadly traps. Stay vigilant, stay grounded, and never let despair trick you into joining a dark path disguised as salvation.